Welcome to the Owensboro Board of Commissioners regular meeting, March 20, 2018. This time we would like to have the roll call. City Clerk Beth Cecil.
Commissioner Jay Vallata.
Here.
Commissioner Larry Condor.
Here.
Mayor Tom Watson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bob Glenn.
Here.
Commissioner Pam Smithright.
Here.
Thank you, Beth. This time we'll have the invocation and the pledge, and Commissioner Jay Vallata will give the invocation. Please stand.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Please bow your head or reflect in silence as at your choosing. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this and each and every day. Thank you for the opportunity to gather in this public forum to openly discuss our city business in a democratic format. Please watch over us and protect our citizens and those that protect us, such as our first responders, police, and fire service. Please grant us the guidance and wisdom to make prudent decisions for the betterment of our citizens. Watch over us, lead us, guide us, and direct us. We ask this all in your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Vallata. At this time, item 4A is a National Vietnam War Memorial Day, Veterans Day Proclamation. Allow me to read this proclamation. Whereas, as we observe the first anniversary of the Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act of 2017, we reflect with solemn reverence upon the valor of a generation that served with honor in the Vietnam War. Whereas we pay tribute to more than 3 million servicemen and women who left their families to serve bravely, a world away from everything they knew and everyone they loved. And whereas we remember those that pushed through jungles and rice paddies, the heat and monsoon, fighting heroically to protect the ideals we hold dear as Americans. And whereas we honor more than 58,000 patriots who sacrificed all they had and all they would ever know, and draw inspiration from the heroes who suffered unspeakably as prisoners of war, yet who returned home with their heads held high. And whereas of those casualties, 1,056 were fellow Kentuckians, with 29 being from Owensboro. Whereas in recognition of a chapter of our nation's history that must never be forgotten, let us renew our sacred commitment to those who answered our country's call in Vietnam and those who awaited their safe return. Now, therefore, I, Thomas H. Watson, Mayor of the City of Owensboro, do hereby proclaim March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day in Owensboro, and encourage all citizens to participate in a day of homage to those that sacrificed for our country in the Vietnam War. This time I'll present this proclamation to Commissioner Pam Smithright. Picture. Photo op. $5. Thank you.
Okay.
It's an inside.
Oh, okay.
Got wheels.
Those are the best.
Commissioner Smithright.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. This day is going to be observed on the 29th of March, and we're going to do a memorial service on the 28th at the Shelton Memorial. And I would encourage all citizens to please come. It's going to be a short ceremony, but this is an important day in the lives of the families of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. And this is the first anniversary for this, and it will be a yearly memorial service. So if you have time and if you know someone who's been in Vietnam, please take the time and thank them. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, the next proclamation is from the City of Owensboro as it pertains to the Kentucky Community and Technical College System 20th anniversary. Whereas Kentucky Community and Technical College System celebrates its 20th anniversary, and whereas the Kentucky General Assembly created the Kentucky Community and Technical College System, KCTCS, through the Kentucky Post-Secondary Education Improvement Act of 1997. And whereas KCTCS is the largest provider of post-secondary, online, and workforce education in Kentucky, including a campus in Owensboro, Kentucky. And whereas the KCTCS has increased the number of college credentials awarded in Kentucky by 250%, and in 2017 celebrated the largest number of graduates and credentials awarded in the system's history. And whereas KCTCS has served 3 million participants in Workforce Solutions program, whereas KCTCS has served 875,000 Kentuckians in the last 20 years, including many from Owensboro. And whereas we proudly recognize and celebrate KCTCS on its 20th anniversary in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, now therefore I, Thomas H. Watson, Mayor of the City of Owensboro, do hereby proclaim March 20th as Kentucky Community and Technical College System Day in Owensboro, and honor the students, alumni, faculty, and staff for their exemplary talent, dedication, and leadership to this institution. This time, I would like for Dr. and Mr. Rogers
Dr. Williams.
to please come forward and accept this proclamation on behalf of the City of Owensboro and the City Commission.
Bless you guys.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Scott Williams, President, Owensboro Community and Technical College, 4800 New Hartford Road, Owensboro, Kentucky. Honorable Mayor, City Commissioners, I want to first, on behalf of the alumni, our Board of Directors, our faculty, staff, and students at Owensboro Community and Technical College, I want to let you know that we're extremely grateful and honored for this proclamation. It means a lot to the community college. Also, just want to say that the community college, OCTC, exists for one sole purpose, and that's to serve the citizens of this community. And we are dedicated to that mission. Our mission is to improve the quality of life through transfer education, career education, and workforce training. And we enjoy and are extremely proud to be able to perform that mission, and we are extremely grateful for the strong partnership of the City of Owensboro, Mayor, the Commissioner, and all the staff of the city. So to each and every one of you, thank you, and I will be sure to let our folks know the great appreciation back at our college. So thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, it is a wonderful institution. I happen to be on the foundation board, and what's the number of people that have gone through there? That's
We have, since the 20 years, we've served over 75,000 citizens here in our area.
pretty good stuff. I know Dr. Bob Glenn is on staff there. If you'd like to share any of your comments, you're welcome to, sir.
Well, I just want to say two things, and that is it's amazing the scope for which we serve. We serve the employee who wants to upgrade their training in a manufacturing environment, and we also train kids as young as their first year in high school taking dual credit courses. The scope is amazing. But I will recall, just end with this one comment, there is a book, a wonderful book about great community colleges, and we're in it. Kentucky Community College System is in it, and the great quote from Dr. McCall, the original leader of our organization, was, starting KCTCS was like flying an airplane while building it. And that's how frenetic this enterprise has been. And so it's a great credit to you, Dr. Williams, and to all of our leadership there, that we've been able to keep that airplane flying for 20 years and do so much positive good in the community. Thank you all for your great leadership.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, Bob. And Dr. McCall started out as a welder with a pickup truck and one borrowed welding machine, and rose to the PhD level and took care of the entire Kentucky technical community college system. So it is a good story. They do great things out there, and I'm proud to play a small part in that. So thanks, guys. I'm not going to tell our story, Mike, because I don't want anybody to cry, but Mike and I got a good story.
They do.
One of these days, we'll share it with you. Thanks again, guys, for coming.
Our pleasure.
Excuse me, Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright.
And I'd like to say that I'm very proud to be a distinguished alumni.
Yes. Absolutely.
Was that 20 years ago?
No, not really.
No, that wasn't, Mayor.
No, I just got the distinguished thing
She
maybe
did. She,
about
yep.
4
Yes.
years ago.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
have two
Distinguished
distinguished
alumni.
alumni. Also, Chief Art Elam is
Yeah.
also
Art
a
Elam.
distinguished alumnus from our institution. So we're proud to have both of them.
Okay, now to the more mundane scenario of Board of Commissioners. Item number 5 is business. Consider the approval of minutes dated March 6, 2018. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 6, ordinances, second reading. Counselor,
Thank you, Mayor.
you're welcome.
Ordinance 4-2018, an ordinance abandoning and closing an alley right-of-way extending from Elm Street to within private property at 720 West 2nd Street in the city of Owensboro, Kentucky, at the request of Riverfront Ford LLC. Publicly read for approval on second reading this 20th day of March, 2018.
Thank you, Steve. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion?
Second.
Okay, since we discussed this last time, any other discussion from the commission? Hearing none, all in favor, oops, we'll need a roll call vote.
Commissioner Vellada,
Yes.
Commissioner Conder,
Yes.
Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith-Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 7, ordinance, first reading. Mr. Lynn.
Ordinance 5-2018, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2017 and ending June 30th, 2018, and amending Ordinance 9-2017 to provide for cell phone forensics, training, and canine medical care costs from the State Drug Fund, and to provide for one-half the cost of OBKY project from the General Fund. Introduced and publicly read on first reading this 20th day of March, 2018.
Thank you, Steve. Item number 8, municipal order.
Municipal Order 6-2018, a municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute a management agreement by and between the city of Owensboro and Global Spectrum LP, doing business as Spectra Venue Management, whereby Global Spectrum shall be engaged to manage, provide, promotion, and operate the Owensboro Convention Center and Sports Center under the terms mutually agreeable to the parties. Introduced and publicly read for approval this 20th day of March, 2018.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Any comments? City manager.
Mayor, would you mind recognizing Tim Ross? He manages the Spectra contract each year, but also led the negotiations on this contract.
I recognize him.
Mayor, Commission, Tim Ross, Director of Public Events. We, when the Convention Center opened years ago, we had an agreement that we put into place with Global Spectrum for facility management based on their tremendous experience with public meeting facilities throughout the country, and we've been really pleased with the results and the partnership more so that they've had with our community. They, since day one, have had strong leadership, and they've got a great staff that's in place with all their managers and directors, and our 2 GMs that we've had here over the term have been really strong in forward thinking and partnering with the community and adding different types of programming to try and benefit the community from a programming standpoint, as well as from financially for our investment in there to help drive visitors and drive that economy. So we're excited with the new proposal that they brought to us. The original term of the first contract expires June 30 of this year. So we put out an RFP, and they've got a great proposal that came back to us that we're working on the final details to now. We've got all the principal details have all been agreed to by both parties, and we're just fine-tuning a little bit of that language. So the new agreement that we are bringing to you to approve us to enter into would be a new deal starting July 1, and it would be a 5-year term plus a 3-year renewable term if both parties are still pleased with the performance after 5 years and meeting all those contract requirements, that it would renew again for 3 more years. The new deal, again, in the partnership actually is less guaranteed money from the management side than what we've had previously. Again, showing their investment here in our community, but it incentivizes Spectra more so. So the stronger they do each year financially, they've got an opportunity to earn a little bit more money, but it's less guaranteed money each year. So it's something that we internally have met with numerous ones on our staff and have been talking with Blake and Laura and their staff, and we're excited about the opportunity to continue moving forward and growing what they've already helped build.
Thank you, sir. Any no discussion from the commission? Okay, hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, city manager item. Mr. Parrish.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Ask you to recognize Ms. Hamrick for the January financial report.
Ms. Hamrick.
Yes, Mayor and the Commission. The financial report for the month ended January 31st, 2018, which will be year-to-date for 7 months. General fund revenues through January 31st, 2018 of $33,315,548 were $1,006,598 over budget, primarily due to the insurance premium license fee revenue and our property tax revenues and timing in the in lieu of taxes. Our general fund expenditures of $28,954,644 were $1,939,365 under budget, primarily due to savings in personnel and timing of maintenance and supplies. The revenues and expenditures in our other funds are in line with the year-to-date budget, with the following exceptions. The Convention Center Operations Fund is under budget in revenues, and this is simply due to timing. The Sanitation Fund is under budget in capital outlay, also due to timing. The Transit Fund is under budget in federal and state grant revenues, and this is also due to timing. And I did want to point out, just as a follow-up note, our savings in personnel and timing of maintenance, our year-to-date savings is over $500,000, and just wanted to share with you and point that out that that's due to vacancies that we've had, and so it's a savings, but it's also a hardship on our staff. And also wanted to point out that the bulk of that is in our public safety, just for the commission's further information. And then if City Clerk Beth will pull up the PowerPoint. PowerPoint that we go over in conjunction with our monthly financials. What you see here on the graph is our general fund analysis of revenues and expenditures year-to-date through January. The graph represents the total picture. The green bar is the revenue at what we refer to as our old rates. The blue bar reflects revenue at what we now refer to as our new rates. And the red bar is the city's year-to-date expenditures. As you can see, we've got $30.5 million on old rates revenues. Our new rate revenues is $33.3 million. Year-to-date expenditures is $28.9 million. The year-to-date surplus, otherwise known as revenues over expenditures, is currently $4,360,904. At the old rates, our year-to-date surplus would have been only $1,523,838. Please note that the revenues will not always be higher than the expenditures. We just got through 2 of our highest revenue months, November and December. This is January, but November and December is captured within that year to date, our 2 largest revenue producing months, and that's due to our property tax collections. Our property tax revenue is 20% of the total general fund revenue budget, and that's why there you see a little bit of disparity there. You know, that surplus looks large, but we'll start eating into that. As we get into our warmer months, you know, parks will start gearing up their activities in the warmer months, and you'll start seeing street work done in the warmer months, and that's typically then the expenditures will kind of kick up a little bit in our revenue months. Of course, April is a good month with net profits coming in, most of them coming in due April 15th. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer.
Commissioner Condon?
Thank you, Mayor. It's evident by the numbers that, and City Manager Bill Parrish says this a lot, that we have a hot economy going on, and you can see that in the revenue streams of what's happening with the city. Taking out the in lieu of taxes from the approximately $1 million that Angela had referred to, you're still $450,000 to $500,000 over on your revenue side, which is absolutely awesome. So what we basically are looking at, it looks like from my view, is that we've stopped digging the hole, and hopefully in time we'll start filling that hole back in, is what will occur. So the work that everyone has been doing, staff, Public Works, everybody that has been doing, it's showing up in the numbers, and I applaud you for them. So that's my only comment, Mayor.
Okay, anybody else?
I've got
Commissioner Glenn.
one question. It isn't about the budget per se. It's about our new RFP system that Ms. Canary was quoted in the paper about. What is that? You know what I'm talking
Are you
about?
talking about the vendor registry system?
Yes, the vendor registry,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Explain, just as for the public, how that will benefit the city. There was a pretty good article in it in this morning's
Well,
paper.
it actually benefits the city as well as all our vendors in the general public. What it does, if they'll go onto our system and enter their registration data, that they don't have to fill out a W-9, which is information that is required if they get a bid. They have access to all of our bids, RFPs, RFQs, online, immediate at their fingertips, and it just facilitates their submittals to the city, and it also benefits us where we can manipulate all the results quicker, faster. So it really is a good tool for both sides.
And are we using, is New World the software foundation for that, or is it another software system we're using?
It's a different server platform.
Okay.
Right.
Well, appreciate your efforts and Ms. Canary's efforts before she moved on to her new post, because I think that's a tremendous asset for the city
Right.
and for our community. So I wanted to point that out for those watching at home. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Hamrick.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Any more discussion? We'll make a motion to file for audit. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Second?
Regular roll. Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 9B, consider personnel appointments. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm asking that the Commission tonight consider the following personnel appointments. Eric Conder, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment, Fire Lieutenant, effective March 20th. Tristan Russellberg, probationary full-time, non-civil service, promotional appointment, Police Lieutenant, effective April 1st. Katrina Lee, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment, bus driver, effective April 2nd. Jacob Trogdon, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment, road worker, effective April 2nd. And Caleb Peterson, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment to police officer, effective April 2nd. Mayor, none of these are outside the budget. They're all replacements or promotions who have served their time on probation.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Commissioner Condon.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself and vote, please.
Noted.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, City Manager. Any comments?
Nothing further, Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Communication from elected officials. Commissioner Smith, Pam Smith-Wright.
I have nothing.
Oh.
Just want to wish everyone a happy Easter, since this is our last meeting before then.
Commissioner Glenn.
Just two quick items. The first is I want to congratulate my colleague Cindy Fiorella for being the Athena Award winner. Hope she's doing well. When we had the event, she was not able to be there, but Helen Montjoy did a wonderful job accepting the award in her place. And then I want to recognize Blake Henry, who's here tonight, and thank you for your wonderful service. Also, Laura Alexander, who's next to him, your wonderful service. We're sorry that you're leaving, but we very much, you'll always be in our hearts for the great job you've done this year. And we know wherever you go, you're going to be successful because you're just good. That's all there is to it. So that's all I've got.
Commissioner Vallada.
Just to reiterate what Commissioner Glenn said, Blake, we're going to miss you, man. You did a great job, and good luck. Take care, man. Thank you for all your service.
Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item. There'll be a young man that will be playing for the Kentucky Thoroughbreds coming up this weekend, Saturday evening. His name is Tyler Brown. He was a graduate of Apollo, fell into a little bit of trouble, is now part of Friends of Sinners. And I'd like to encourage everyone, please, come to the Thoroughbreds game and support Tyler. He has done well. His family is with him, and show support locally that you'll have a local guy playing for the Kentucky Thoroughbreds that had a hard time and is now pulling himself up. So other than that, thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. I had an opportunity to go to up in Indiana, and we're trying to figure out a way to get the 4-lane highway from basically Huntingburg to the Maceo Bridge, and went with Chamber President Candace Brake, and there is movement on this topic. I think it's critical for our existence to keep us off what I would call a cul-de-sac, as the road leaves from Indianapolis and goes through Bloomington and towards Evansville, and the other side goes from Indianapolis to Louisville. They're creating a 6-lane highway over there, so we're trying to get Indiana to move a little quicker. Congressman Brett Guthrie got the Natural Parkway put in the federal transportation bill to upgrade it to interstate standards, and the state has agreed to do the off-ramps and the overhead passes. It's critical, in my view, that we get this completed. It's 22 miles of basically asphalt with no federal issues, no bridges to be built. They'd be side by side with 231, and that would give people a chance as they go down and come through Indy and go south, and they don't have to mess with that traffic in Louisville. And they can come straight through our community, get on our bypass and our bypass extension, hit the Natcher, and be on 65 South. So it's really critical for economic development. And Hank Minke of OPS Brands in Huntingburg has done a lot of work. And in May or April, I'll be going to meet with the governor of Indiana and see if we can't entice him to continue the progress. They're talking 6 to 7 years out. I'm going to be gone by then, so I want to get it done in 2 to 3 years, and hopefully that will happen, because I believe it will be a necessary item for Owensboro to keep us in discussion. Okay, item number 11, open public forum. Members of the audience are invited to address the City Commission on any matter of public concern that was not on tonight's agenda. Comments are limited to issues within the scope and responsibility of this commission. The City Commission meetings are held to conduct city business for the benefit of Owensboro citizens and taxpayers. The meetings are not intended to serve as public forums for candidates who are campaigning for political office. Political candidates, like any citizen, may address any item on the City Commission's agenda. During the open public forum, any citizen of Owensboro may address a specific city-related issue not on the agenda. The candidates for any political office will not be allowed to use the commission to promote their candidacy. At this time, anyone who wishes to address the City Commission, please make their way to the podium to be recognized. Speakers must state their name and address for the clerk's record and limit their remarks to 3 minutes or less. Since the item is not on the agenda, no response is required from the city staff or the commission, and the mayor reserves the right to extend time to the speaker. Comments from the public?
Jenna Carrico, 2815 Windsor Avenue.
Ryland Smith, Fresh University, 717 Frederick Street. We're here today to deliver 36 more postcards in support of the Sierra Club's campaign, asking you to call on OMU to fully consider the possibility of clean energy options moving forward.
And we would also just like to express our support for the county's plan to develop solar energy at the county's landfill. This will directly benefit the county's economy, health, and environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Bob Zimmerman, Owensboro.
What's your address, sir?
Owensboro.
Home address?
My residing,
live? Yeah, we need-
Owensboro, Kentucky. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to read a poem that a good friend of mine wrote. It pertains or puts in perspective the proclamation you read earlier about the Vietnam War. If I may I read this poem?
Absolutely, sir.
It's from a good friend of mine that penned it, Michael Wayne Pickerel. I went
Please
to...
get close enough to the mic so the folks can hear you on the
Okay.
TV.
Okay, can you hear now? I went to Nam, far away from home. I was assigned to my squad, so I wasn't alone. We lived in a tent. It wasn't much to see, but our bond was Nam tight, you and me. High school is one thing, but Nam was another. There is Nam, you were my there in Nam, you were my brother. The stories we told, the states we were from, Kentucky, Florida, New York for some, Wisconsin, LA, and Chi-Town too. When we got together, we were a crew. We beat the bush night after night, looking for them gooks to fight. We ran into some every now and then, got our adrenaline up, and we would win. Sea rations we ate, we'd sleep on the ground, waiting for our rotation date to come around. At times we'd be hungry and the conversation would flow to milkshakes, Dairy Queens, and hamburgers to go. When it rained, you could never stay dry. We'd just hump the bush and never ask why. On February 2, 1968, 300 NVA were not far from our gate. It was the Tet Offensive, and to our surprise, they killed lots of civilians right before our eyes. Mowed them down with machine guns, women, children, and old men. My mind thought, what a great sin. We fought all that day. They got away in the night. We lost 2 Marines in the first part of the fight. One name I don't remember, but the other I do. He was Wayne Paul Newcomb, a good Marine, too. Now it was February 6th, just 4 days away. That's the firefight that took all my friends away. We were told there were only 14 gooks in the tree line. Turned out to be 300, and they really blew our minds. And I'm still loud enough, Mayor.
Doing fine, Mr. Zimmerman.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
luck.
Thank you. The first part of the firefight didn't last long. They kicked our butt, and all my friends were gone. The next day, I sat alone in my tent. Confusion set in. I didn't understand this mess. The beat went on in the heat of Nam. I made new friends, but it wasn't the same as my first squad as we walked in the rain. I'm not sure why God has spared me to this day, but since Nam, it's been a crazy life in every way. For years I stayed high and drunk as I could be, me and my hatred for authority. Then one day it dawned on me, my friends died in vain if this is all I'll ever be. So here's to my friends. They were brave and fought well. They were the best Marines this side of hell. A toast of pure water to you from me, and I want to thank you for always watching over me. Michael Pickerel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bob. Very nicely done. Anybody else from the public? Okay, well, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.